Dr. Peter Otokunor, who's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. He's here to talk to us about the NDC's internal reorganization, and that's starting next week. All that you need to know so that if you're interested in contesting in any of those positions, you may have heard it here in terms of what you need to do and what you can't do. Doc, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Moro. Good to see you too.
It's been ages.
Sure, I mean.
And we've just been talking over the phone, but we've never really had the opportunity of sitting over the table like this and having a conversation about Ghana and perhaps the NDC.
When you are sent by the masses, you can't have the luxury of comfort.
Right.
So you would always have to be away. Unfortunately, because I'm in opposition, I'm losing all my brothers.
That's what opposition does.
Yes, that's what
when
opposition
does. You lose friends.
You lose all your brothers.
Yeah,
But be that as it may, I think that we have put in enough to make sure that we come back in 2024.
Okay.
I pardon me, my voice is not too.
I can tell that you're recovering
I'm
from
just recovering
a bad cold.
Yeah, some cold. So.
But before you even zoom in to talk about the NDC's internal reorganization, let's talk about the Black Stars briefly, because you're Ghanaian, and I want to believe that you either have watched the game, or you may have listened to commentary, or you may have read people's opinions as have posted on social media, etc. What do you make of yesterday's game? Do you have any thoughts to share briefly before we move on to talk about NDC?
I think that the Black Stars remains the heartbeat of the nation. And even though they have lost some significant goodwill among the people, yesterday everybody was glued, hoping to get some points. Because, you see, we are in a very distressed society. Most people are very depressed because of the economic hardship and the difficulties and all that. So one would have to be looking out for, some brief moments of glory so that you can feel relaxed and feel more Ghanaian, at least even if it's for an hour. So a lot of people were very expectant yesterday, and were looking out for some good performance and some victory, to assuage the kind of difficulties that we are going through. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. But I think that it was a revealing match for us going into the World Cup. You would want to know your strength very well in respect of your tactical play and the kind of selections that you are making. And I think that yesterday there was a revelation, on how perhaps the coach is supposed to, reconfigure the team so that we become stronger. So on that score, I think that it's a commendable one. They played very well in the second half. The first half had its own difficulties, and it exposed our weaknesses. So I'm sure getting into the next matches and, playing Nicaragua and preparing towards the main tournament would be able to strengthen all those weaknesses and become better in the World Cup.
Right.
We are all looking for some glory in the World Cup so that at least we can forget our economic, distress a bit.
Right. Let me also use this opportunity to congratulate you. You graduated with a PhD in agronomic.
Agri-economics.
Agricultural. Yes, that's what
agricultural economics.
Right. Congratulations. And,
Thank you, my brother.
Maybe we need to make some time to pop some champagne on that. So that's about
it's
it.
It's very necessary. I've been waiting for it, but
yes, it's very important.
It has kept too long in coming.
Well, it will. We're right after here. We'll figure that out. So you're now Dr. Peter Buama Otokunor.
Yeah, it's a
wonderful. Yeah. Well deserved. So let's now talk about the NDC's internal reorganization. First of all, why does a party find it important to reorganize? Why have you found your part? Why have you found it necessary as a political party to reorganize? Because you're done with the branch elections. You're now moving to constituency, regional, and national. So tell us about the importance of this exercise, first of all.
Well, political parties, like any other organization or like a machine, when you use the machine after some time, you would have to re-look at the machine and do some form of servicing, just like your vehicle.
Right.
After driving it for a while, you have to go to the mechanic and do some servicing, change some oil, check the brakes, just so that you maintain a very robust, vehicle. And that's how political parties are.
Okay.
After every 4 years in our party, per our constitution, we go for servicing. And what we simply do is that we look at how we have managed the party in the past. We see the measures that we've put in place. We look at even our constitution and see whether the activities and the programs of the party has yielded positive results. And so after the 2020 elections, we needed to do a review of our entire performance and the entire running of the party. And so we identified some significant pitfalls, which we had to, as it were, fix and strengthen the party. So for the past 1 year, we have been doing that and laying the foundation. Reorganization is not only about elections. It's not about just going through and changing the leaders and bringing in new. When you do that, you are just building a superstructure on a very weak foundation. So as part of the reorganization exercise, we had to change our entire management system and introduce some significant digital, support in our management system. So we have currently built a new MIS system that has brought together all our membership, digitized our base. Even our payments have gone digital now, so that we would be able to efficiently build a solid structure of a party that knows its people, that runs efficiently in terms of management of its limited resources, and be able to become formidable in strategy based on the records and the data that we keep. Because we are getting into a world where data is most crucial in every strategy. So if we are going to be very strategic in our elections, and politics is all about strategy, we would have to keep adequate data of our people. So for the past 1 year, we have been building systems and trying to relook at our systems and restructure our systems so that we would be able to become efficient and more powerful and formidable in 2024. So we are done with that, and so that means that we can start our reorganization exercise. The most important part of the reorganization exercise is the branches. Because when you have very strong branches, you have formidable branches, that is where the voting is done. Mm-hmm. Mostly if there would be rigging in an election, that is where it is done. So if you are able to strengthen your branches, then it means that you have built the first initial, gates that will prevent anybody to take advantage of the processes. And so we have spent a lot of time, building the branches. And we have done, for the first time, we have done elections in almost every single branch across the country.
Okay.
Those days it was Frefre Kobo. Mm-hmm. Somebody would just sit in his house and say, wifey, you will be the woman organizer. Then our first son will make him the organizer. This one becomes...
That's what used to happen.
They share the positions in one house.
Wow.
And I'll tell you a very funny story. We went to one branch, and, because of the dejection among young people,
yes,
because of the disenchantment, most of them who voted for this government have been, disappointed. So there's a clarion. I mean, everybody wants to join the NDC. So we went to a community, and a lot of young people, they came in and said, and become part of the NDC. Then, when they were talking, the branch chairman just got up and said, Debbie, I had your party now, you understand? You see?
Party now,
yeah, party now. You see, there is a thinking among some party faithfuls that the fewer the merrier, especially in areas where we are not strong. So that is why our party continues to grow weaker in those areas. So we needed to find a way to motivate a lot of people to join the party, to motivate those who are already holding the party to stay in the party. So that is what we have been doing. Thankfully, we are wrapping up our branch elections in Ashanti and Eastern region. This time, we sent a team from national and region to every single branch to supervise the elections and make sure that the right things are done. And so whilst we are done...
Because you zoned it. You zoned the branch elections.
Yes. We did the first 14 regions.
Okay.
Where there is, we have been winning all the 14 regions apart from 2 regions, basically. Right. So the challenges were not that enormous. So we could afford to, with our limited human resource, do that at a go. So we did the 14 regions. And we moved all our efforts into the 2 regions. We actually moved officers from the various regions to join the national team to supervise the exercises in those regions. And it's been exceedingly positive. And we are very optimistic about the outcomes of the work that we have done. So we have gotten to the point where we would have to build the superstructure after building the foundation. So we'll do our constituency elections, then do our regional elections, and do our national elections. Then we would come to a position of comfort that we have built a very solid, party system that is ready to harness power from the MPP. So as we speak, today we are closing picking of nominations, albeit digital. Previously you would go to the party office and go and pick your nomination form. Those were the times where somebody would carry the nomination forms and send it to the farm. Then when their opponents are looking for the forms, they will not get. Then we have chaos all over. Yes, completely. Even with branch elections, our nomination forms were put online. And that is why you didn't hear any incidents that we were even having branch elections. You saw what happened to our friends. They were having chaos everywhere. It was through their branch elections that they donated their Formina office to us freely. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
You understand? So ours have been very calm. It has been very peaceful and very successful.
Did you take cognizance of areas where there may be internet challenges?
Well, I mean, you.
I'm talking about the printing of the forms.
No, yeah, we are dealing with a political system.
Right.
So people would always want to take advantage. Yeah. But what you can do as a leader is to put measures in place to limit the possibility of people taking advantage of the system. So we put it online. But also, we encourage the constituencies to print and distribute so that those who are unable to get the form from the manual distribution can quietly go and print their own and go through the process. Payment of nomination fees were online. So when the team comes to your branch to do the vetting, you just go and submit your form upon the vetting, and they would vet you. And you qualify to contest. So that's eliminated all the possibilities of people trying to take advantage of the system.
Human interference.
Human interference. Yeah. And rent seekers trying to also squeeze their way and get some opportunities ahead of their opponents or contestants. So we have been able to significantly solve that problem, of chaos in our elections, even with our constituency elections. Previously, you would hear that when nominations are open, there is fight here, there is fight there. People are struggling, some are chasing others and all that. And as you saw in the reorganization of our opponents, people were being butchered here and there. But you will not see that in the NDC because this time around, we have identified those significant pitfalls and we have devised strategies to deal with them. And so our form is online. You go online, pay your nomination fee, that is the picking of the form. Then you have access to complete it online. So you can do it in the comfort of your home. You don't have to go and struggle with anybody. You understand? Now, when you have completed your form online, you would print it out. There is an endorsement form, which is the Form B, which you download. In fact, you don't even need to pay before you download. So whilst you have picked the form and you are completing and you are not even done, you can still go around and get the endorsement. Now, the endorsement is a very significant part of our exercise because we want to believe that you come from that constituency and there are people in every branch that identify you as a member of the party in that constituency. So that you don't have the case whereby an MPP person will pick nomination forms from the NDC and come and contest elections. So all this
and that's happened in the past.
Oh, it can happen. Because now that you are even going digital and people can pick nomination forms online, even President Akufo-Addo can sit in the comfort of his home and access our forms. You understand? So now when he picks the nomination and he has to go around and they say, Akufo-Addo, you want to contest our elections, it's not possible. Then there you are able to put a roadblock that will prevent anybody from entering. So today and
now speaking about, and before you talk about what's going to happen today, but I noticed that there's a lot of emphasis and talk about the fact that those who will endorse in the forms must be paid up members of the party. There's a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there is a constitutional provision that provides that every member that participates in our electoral processes must be of good standing. Whether you're a candidate or a voter, you must be of good standing. And good standing means that you should be a paid-up member. It means that you have acquitted yourself creditably, and your obligations as ascribed in the Constitution has been fulfilled.
Okay.
So when you fulfill your obligations, then you are in good standing. And so we decided that for our members, let's give them some modicum of comfort so that they don't stress too much. Because from 2018, we asked them not to pay dues. I think from 2020, we asked them not to pay dues. Mostly those days, the dues were being collected in pockets at the branches, and it goes nowhere. In fact, some people do not even pay the dues. There will be instances where you pick their party membership card, and they have written 5 CD, 1 CD, 1 CD, 1 CD, 1 CD, till the days of Rollins. And you know that 1 Ghana CD started under Kufuor. But you have the case whereby people have written their own dues in their books, and they have not paid the money to anybody. So this digitization approach was also to save, how, we manage our resources and the accountability and all that.
Okay.
So we have asked them to pay 1 month. I mean, for ordinary members, at least, to be able to be in good standing in the party, just pay 1 month. We took cognizance of the economic difficulties. And as General will always say, the COVID-19 Ukraine war and recently the death of the Queen Elizabeth has affected the economic situation, so we have to be conscious of that. So even our nominations form for this year, we didn't adjust our nominations form. It's quite unusual because we considered the economic situation, so we didn't adjust much.
Right.
But for those who are voting, you have to pay 1 month. If you are a contestant branch executive, you have to pay a minimum of 3 months.
Okay.
If you want to contest 4 constituency and upwards, that one you have to pay all your arrears. So we put a lot of premium on that because here in Ghana and maybe in the sub-region, what we have done is that we don't really focus on the party raising internal resources to organize itself. When the party people contribute towards the building of the party, they own the party. You understand? When we focus on getting people outside the party, some business moguls, some rich people, to finance the activities of the party, then they tend to own the party at the expense of the people. And you see, the NDC has been a people's party. And so to give true meaning to what it is, we had to, go back to the roots and do the right thing. So when you put the measures in place to be able to raise in the needed, finances, then you don't go begging. In fact, for the first time in the history of our party, in a long time history of our party, we have used internally generated dues to do our organization without going to look for money from anywhere.
Through digitalization.
Through digitalization.
Because help us appreciate something. When it used to be brick and mortar, how much were you raking in?
We were raking virtually nothing.
You're raking virtually
nothing. Because then they will collect their monies at the branches, almost the 39,000 branches.
Yes.
And it goes nowhere. It doesn't go beyond the branch. And you don't even know.
So dues payment has increased by, almost 100%.
Yes. Over. I mean, 100% is, over thousands.
Really?
Over thousands.
So how much is the party making, on monthly basis, roughly?
Well, I will not share that with you.
Well, it's in some millions.
Yeah, no, I will not share that with you.
You don't have to give me specific thing.
Unless you apply the right information.
But I think the most important thing is that the party is doing much better in terms of its internal revenue generation efforts.
Exactly. We are doing significantly better. Okay. And we are a bit robust now. And you see, they said mighty drops of water.
Okay, makes a mighty ocean.
Yes, so little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Yeah. So we are just picking the little drops and trying to consolidate that so that we would be able to run the party. And you see, there are a few things that we should be looking at in this country. Our laws allow for political parties to do business. Elsewhere, political parties do their own stuff so that they can manage themselves, because the political parties law does not allow you to be taking money from some sources, from international sources and so on. There are a lot of restrictions on political party financing. And I'm sure you saw the reports from the EU and other organizations after the 2020 elections that we should really look at political party financing. In some countries, the states finance political parties. Right. So if you are financed, then you are able to manage your affairs very well. Then the provision in the political parties law that requires you to provide audit report of your finances, is given true meaning. But in the current circumstance, nobody funds you. You do your own funding, but still you have to do your audit report. But this system that we have deployed has also significantly helped us to, achieve that obligation. Okay. And I think for the past 2 years, we have been the only political party, the first political party that submits our audit reports in time. You understand? Because of the systems that we have put in place for our financial management and our accounting systems. Okay. Bear in mind that our principle is probity and accountability and transparency. So we should be accountable to ourselves first. Then the people can have confidence in us that when we hold the affairs of the state, we would be accountable and incorruptible.
I want to ask you my final question on your reorganization, and not what I mean in terms of how the elections is panning out from the constituency to the regional. I'll come to national because there's quite a number of issues that I'll be asking you about the national elections. But one of the things that, and I think you attested to that in your earlier commentary, you have said it time and again that the NDC's problem in the past elections partly has to do with the personnel that you elect at the branch level. That's not to say all the guys who are elected at branch level are bad, but there are a few bad nuts, not loyal, not dedicated, not committed, can easily be compromised, etc. With the new system that you have put in place to produce the next set of branch branch officers or branch executives, do you trust that the best is what has come out? And these are guys that the party can depend on election day to protect the party's votes?
I can confidently say without any shred of equivocation that we have put together the best. And this is not only the best in terms of what they are going to do in the elections or in the branches in terms of party management, but also is the best that will produce as the results in 2024.
I see. And these are the guys you're going to be counting on.
Heavily.
Protect the vote at the polling stations. Heavily. That's interesting. Now, final question to you on this. I've heard a lot of people say that, look, for a party that is in opposition, you should have rather started this internal reorganization even before or ahead of the party in power, which is the New Patriotic Party. And it was a big debate. I mean, I've seen that on social media. I belong to some platforms where, there's everybody there, NDC, NPP, and that debate is happening on that particular platform as well. I don't know where you stand on this, because some feel that you should be way ahead of the curve because you want to annex, you want to recapture power. But to have allowed your opponents to start and reorganize and have settled in, if they want to scupper your plans or if they want to scatter your plans, they are in a better position to do so.
The accounts have a saying that Odikai or Kota now in Dibim. What it means is that, yes, to wait when you get to the courts first, it doesn't mean that you are going to win. Yes, you will not win the case.
But those who have the legitimate fears that because the party has settled, the party can create problems for you.
No, I mean, why should they be able to create problems for us?
Okay.
See, if you're a political party and you don't have a strategy, that is when somebody can create problems for you.
Okay.
As I said, the last 1 year, of all the delays, we have been able to build a system that our opponents do not have, and they have not even thought of. You understand? So we are positioned better than our opponents who do not have that system. So it takes strategy. Our strategy was to build an efficient system, a robust system that will deliver us the power. The rest is a superstructure. It's like building. If you don't get the foundation right, whatever you put on is a waste.
It's a waste of time.
And clearly what they have put together in their party now is a losing team that will go into opposition. They are leading the party into opposition. You understand? And I mean, there's no two ways about that. So those who express those concerns, genuine though, because they may have their own reasons to express that fear.
They have no cause for worry.
No, they have no cause for worry at all.
So you're going to do a constituency, regional, and then you come to national.
Exactly.
Now, it appears that the national is what has got a lot more people talking. Because we have heard that you're interested yourself. Because the general secretary of your party, which is Johnson Asiedu Nkete, has declared officially. I listened to him on Radio Go the other day when he said he wants to declare it officially that he's not interested in the position again, and that he has two options. It's either he contests for another position, or he'll probably retire from politics. But that's and the reactions that have come thereof, it's a separate conversation you and I perhaps would have that if we have time. But how true is it that you are eyeing that seat? Because once the General Secretary says he's not interested and the time comes up, essentially the seat is vacant. And so everybody who believes that they are capable of taking up that position is free to contest. And I am told, I'm reliably informed, that you are seriously considering that you're seriously considering contesting that position.
Moro, there is 1,000 reasons why I would have to contest for general secretaryship in the absence of General Mosquito.
Really?
But there is not only about the contest. It is about 2024. You see, the party must win power in 2024. And not for the sake of the NDC, but for the sake of the Ghanaian people. And I have said repeatedly that if it is power that the NDC is looking for, then the NDC will go for competence, will go for strong leadership, will go for courageous leadership, will go for strategic leadership, a leadership that is accessible, a leadership that can consolidate the party, a leadership that can unite the party. And if these are the things that will win us power in 2024, the NDC cannot go beyond Dr. Peter Boamo Otokunor. And the reasons are straightforward. Look,
but how have you proven
in the office of the General Secretary, as it stands now, there is nobody who has experienced the office in these contemporary times and understand the jobs and the nuances of the job than I do. I have worked as a Deputy General Secretary in the last 4 years. And in the last 4 years, what I have ostensibly done is to be in charge of operations, stay on the ground, perfect my skills in elections, which I've been doing for the past 12 years, perfect my understanding of the running of the party. And all these strategic things that I've spoken about earlier are things that have been driven by a bigger vision of growing the party. You can't win elections when you don't have a strong party. You can't win elections if you don't have a party that is growing. You can't win elections if you don't have leadership that is courageous. You can't win elections if you don't have strategy. You understand? And I have anchored all these things in the last few years. I've worked in the party office, the head office, for about 12 years now. I started as, 2010 when I lost as Deputy Propaganda Secretary with 20 votes. I didn't leave the party. I had realized something that caused me to join party, leadership. And I felt that I had a lot to contribute in there. So when I lost, I didn't get dejected. I didn't act like the others. I got the opportunity to serve on the elections directorate. I acquitted myself creditably. And based on that, I was appointed Deputy Director of Research. I acquitted myself creditably. And you see, the thing about Peter Boamo Otokunor is that I am a legacy person. When you give me anything to do, I want to leave a legacy. When you give me any assignment, even if it's an hour, I want to leave a mark that you will talk about after leaving. If you ask me to sweep here, I'll become the best sweeper. And it has been part of my life, wherever I have been. So in my service to the party, at all levels, at all times, I've left very significant legacies, even as Deputy Director of Research. It was when I was Deputy Director of Research that I led the formation of the party school. And it has significantly impacted the progress of the party. Got a lot of young people interested in the party, joining the party. And I believe if there's any growth and attraction from young people, that has significantly contributed. Then I became a Deputy General Secretary. Then my work has been there for everybody to see. Everybody talks about hard work. Otokunor is hard working. He's a smart worker. He delivers the results. Give him the work and he delivers. And so if I've had the opportunity to learn from the best, which all of us will attest to. General Mosquito has been the best General Secretary in the history of our party. In fact, he's a colossus in the country. I don't think even in West Africa we have had any General Secretary that understands the politicking than he does. And I've had the opportunity to be an apprentice to the best. I have worked with almost all the best biggest names that you can mention in the NDC, from Rollins. In fact, not just worked, I have learned closely under them, not distant.
So basically, your experience is not in doubt.
So I believe that among all the people that may want to, those I've heard that may want to,
potential contenders,
I stand very tall in terms of political knowledge and experience than all of them.
Well,
I stand very tall in terms of my relationship with the party people more than them. And I appear to be a uniting factor more than all of them. So if those are the things that requires us to win power, to become formidable, to be able to take power from the MPP, then there is no way you go for the less when you have the best. You understand? You don't
think persons like Elvis Ifriankra, who we are told may be lacing his boots, persons like Fifi Kwete, who has said, I'm told, he said in some quarters that if the General Secretary wasn't going to go, he would also put in his bid. You don't think these are formidable contenders that you must be worried about?
They are all good guys, but I'm the best.
Okay.
So when you have the good and the best, what do you go for?
You obviously choose
yes,
the
I
best.
mean, and you see, 2024 is about the young people of this country. They are looking at somebody who shares their story, somebody who understands them, somebody who offers them the kind of leadership that they can connect to. And they are the decision makers. And you hear, oh, Otokunor is young, but they don't know that it is the youthfulness.
Have you always had?
It is the youthfulness that carries the key to the power.
Have you always had this ambition?
Well, not until somewhere last year. As I said, when you give me an assignment, I want to do to the best of my ability. But as I was working, I'm sure a lot of people were also seeing. You understand? A lot of people were looking at it.
Have you discussed this with the General Secretary? You told him that, look, sir, I understand that you want to leave. If I had my way, or if I get your blessing, I would want to continue from where you left off. Have you had that conversation with the General?
If you're a Muslim, so but if you knew the Bible, you see there was a prophet called Samuel,
yes,
who anoints kings,
right,
and he anointed David,
right,
in the biblical world, but in the current contemporary world, a mosquito is a Samuel who has anointed his son to take over.
You're saying that the General Secretary has anointed you.
I have his.
He's giving his full blessing.
Full on alloyed blessing. And he
believes you can do the job.
And you see, I see this as a very huge opportunity. I'm very fortunate and very lucky because General Mosquito did not only take me as his deputy, he actually showed interest in my growth, and he consciously prepared me.
I see.
I didn't know that he was going to go out of. In fact, until somewhere last year, when he himself invited me and gave me that indication, I had never thought and dreamt that I would contest General Secretary in this short period.
Did he also indicate to you that
But most importantly, I got an awakening because of all the things that he was guiding me and taking me through, all the preparation, I didn't get it that way, that I was being prepared for something. But I took it very serious. Okay. And the results, I'm sure you would amply attest to, in terms of the capacity that I've been able to build.
Did you ask him? Did you ask him when he mentioned? Now, first of all, before I get on with that, 0249 155 646 0249 155 646. We've actually we've advertised the WhatsApp line boldly on the screen. So those of you who have questions or contributions you want to make to this conversation, we're more than happy to hear from you. 0249 155 646. That's a WhatsApp line. I'm sorry, I should have announced this much earlier. But already I have received tons of messages for Dr. Peter Buama Otokunor, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the ruling, but the opposition.
Very soon we'll be ruling. Don't worry, you are okay to say ruling.
No, but for now you're positioning NDC, and he is my guest on Inside Pages. Also remember that after he's left, we'll also be talking to the Land and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo. He's going to be talking to us about issue with Aisha Wan and also land guardism. And also a fight against, of course, in relation to a fight against small-scale illegal mining. You don't want to miss that interview. It's very interesting, very explosive interview as well. So, Honorable, When you were having a conversation with the general secretary of your party, when he was indicating to you about his decision to call it quits, did he also indicate to you what he intended to do with his life afterwards?
Well, even if he did, I don't have the capacity.
You don't have his permission
To share that on his behalf. But the most important thing was that General Mosquito has been a pillar, in the party, and he has actually anchored the spirit of the NDC. And, what he has brought, the kind of knowledge and skill he has brought to bear, he has actually set a standard. If you don't work as General Mosquito in the General Secretary's office, and it has created a problem for the MPP. The MPP has had the highest attrition rate in terms of General Secretaries, because General Mosquito has set a standard. The standard is very big, and I consider those shoes very, very big. And last time I was telling somebody that, look, these shoes is very big for me to wear. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a lot of cushion in that shoe, and I'll wear the shoe and walk very comfortably.
That's what you intend to do?
Yes, that's what I intend to do.
Okay.
But most importantly also, I intend to set my own shoe and my own size of shoe. That will give me comfort. That will yield the efficiency. It's like you're going for a marathon. The boot that you wear for the marathon is very important. If the boot is tighter, you are more efficient. So I intend to bring on board my own level of understanding and experience and skill and capacity, in addition to what I have learned from the general. A leader is somebody who is able to build people who become better of themselves. And I intend that whatever I've learned from the good general, I would be able to do an excellent and super job.
Will the General Secretary have your full blessing if he said to you today that he was also going for the national chairman of the party? Would he have your full blessing as well?
My blessing?
Yes.
I mean, super blessing. As I've said, General is anchors the spirit of the party. I mean, there is no responsibility you will give to General in respect of party management now that anybody should go against. And but even the NDC should go against.
There are a lot of people who are very uncomfortable, even within your own party, who are very uncomfortable with General going as the national chairman. That's if indeed he will go.
No, I don't think so.
There are some who believe that it has the tendency or the propensity to divide the party, because these are two stalwarts of your party, the General Secretary and the national chairman, the current national Samuel Ofosu. In fact, we have seen statements from some full soldiers who are saying that, look, if General Secretary wins, they are supporters of Samuel Ofosu. If the General Secretary wins the national chairman, they will not vote for the party. In fact, these statements has had to give cause for the likes of Dr. Omane Boamah to put up, a statement cautioning party people to look at the party's interest, collective interest, and not individual ambition. Because he himself, I want to believe, is a bit uncomfortable with all that is happening within the party. Not uncomfortable with who will go for what position, but some of these statements. I'm sure you've heard some of it too.
Moro, you see, what we must understand is that we are a democratic party, and nobody is beyond elections. Never have we gone for any elections that anybody has gone unopposed. Okay. Even the greatest former president of our party, who is going to be the next president, people tend to contest him. In the last primaries, we had 6 people contesting him. So contest is very good. When you put that contest, it reaffirms the support and the belief of the people in the leadership of those who would win. So I don't foresee anywhere, by any stretch of imagination, that would go for contest and it would divide the party. No, not at all. Look, since I started this party, we have gone to even more turbulent contests. And like every contest, it's turbulent. Even branch elections. Look at what is happening in some places. Every contest is very turbulent. But the most important thing is that we are one family. When the people decide on you, they have decided on you. When they decide that you are the best person to do the job, you take charge and consolidate the party and bring everybody together. I do not see any division. I do not foresee any division that would be occasioned by General saying that he's going for chairman. And I think that General would be an excellent chairman. he will be a super excellent national chairman. But he has not declared. He has not told anybody if he's going for national chairman.
But Doc,
should General become our national chairman? I have no doubt at all.
Yeah, but you're endorsing
that
him.
It will advance.
You can potentially become the general secretary of party, but you're already endorsing.
No, I'm not endorsing. You are. You brought it up.
You're
brought
saying
it up.
you'll be a super.
No. Yes.
Super excellent.
Yes.
National chairman.
Moro, you brought it up, but you see, he has not declared that he's going for chairmanship. You are not aware. I'm not aware. Yeah. But I'm saying that he will be he can be a national chairman in the next 8 years, in the next 12 years. You may never know. But I'm saying that he would be a super national chairman if he's contesting for national chairman. It may be in future. You understand? Honorable Samuel Fosuampofo, I've had very good working with. He's an excellent chairman. You understand? So if the two of them decide that they want to contest for the position, it doesn't mean that any of them is bad. But the people would have to make a choice on who they think can lead the party at this time.
Just like you have to make a choice.
No, yes. I mean, the people must make a choice. Yeah,
but you have to make a choice too.
Well, I mean, everybody has a choice.
Yes.
But
can I safely assume what your choice will be?
Oh,
your godfather.
No, you are. You are okay to assume.
Okay.
I mean, everybody can assume. It doesn't make it a fact.
Yeah.
The most important thing now is that
you can't betray your dad.
We need a leader.
You can't betray your political figure. I mean, your political godfather.
Well, I mean, all of them have been. I mean, my dads, you understand, when you have multiple dads, when it push comes to shove, like a family, when there is a vacant, chieftaincy title and somebody must occupy, it is actually selected from siblings. They are all from one family, one blood, but one will be selected.
All right.
One will be preferred.
Okay.
You understand? But what I'm saying is that General has not declared his intentions.
Okay.
And I do not intend to do that for him.
Okay. But if he does?
But if he does, any time in future that he wants to be a national chairman, I think that he would not be a bad national chairman. He will be an excellent national chairman.
Otokunor.
Yes.
Yes. He says his greetings. He says he believes you would also make a fantastic general secretary.
Tell him I miss him. Yeah. We should engage there.
So this is said, greetings to you, my brothers Moro and Dr. Otokunor. I'm picking political lessons from watching you in Baku. I wish you all the best. Oulamangote. And but the other one, his other wishes for you, and that I've already told you.
Yeah.
Mr. Moro, tell Mr. Otokunor he deserves the general secretary because he's learned a lot from his boss and was able to deliver when his boss delegated him anytime, anywhere. That's coming from Andy Habib, Yape Gusau, sends that message. My name is Bright Nate, a constituency aspirant from Sege constituency. My fellow colleagues in the constituency really appreciate Dr. Peter Otokunor for offering to help us through the help desk. He said it was really helpful. At a point in time, some of us lost hope in the whole system, but Dr. Peter came to our rescue. I must assure you that you have our support and vote. Now, Kofi Sam Atonso Bokrum last. Kumase, it says, please, Otokunor can do the work than the rest, but the NDC is not an alternative for Ghana's problem. The best thing for them is to remain in the position. Nothing good can come from the NDC. And this one, General, this one says that we believe in you. Go, go, go. Zach from Kumase. General Junior, we welcome you to the Secretary Senior. Isaac Texing from Tema East, Paradise Branch Secretary. Please kindly inform Otokunor that the Central Regional Executives are causing more harm to the party in the various constituencies, especially Gomwa Central, to the extent that they're disqualifying branch executives from voting in the upcoming constituency elections. Mary in Swedru sent that message. So, Doc, you may want to take note of that. In fact, all the contestants are perfect, but currently I can see Otokunor stands best. It has come from Charles Jamasi. Mr. Moro, great interview with the incoming General Secretary, Dr. Otokunor, aka Vandal Bola. With his great mind and experience, I think our great party should vote for him. So we can capture power from the MPP. This Nana Petit, formerly of Agriculture Economics Library, and now with BAM Library, University of Ghana. And then good morning to you and our courageous Doc and incoming General Secretary of the Great NDs. Find out from him why did the party fight in Parliament against the passage of the E-levy, yet we made our contestants to pay E-levy when picking nomination and filing of nomination. The NDC story is reflected in Peter Bomo Otokunor, the story of starting small, growing through the ranks to the top, regardless of your tribe and age. Kwesi Etuahene, Adentan constituency. Okay, so I'm going to take so Papa Bisu says Dr. Peter Otokunor is really very, very hardworking gentleman. Loves people, very humble, but trust me, I would have loved him to be the main general secretary because of the reasons he gave. But trust me, my wish for him this time around is to stay put at the deputy general secretary, still learn on the job, and then 4 or 8 years later declare his intention for the main job. Trust me, that will make him the best person for the job. Papa Bisu has also expressed his opinion on this matter. But you have just 2 minutes to wish your final words for those who will be contesting, will be picking up nomination forms and contesting, and also for yourself. Well, the time is not there yet, so when the time comes up, I'm sure I'll have you in the studio for you to talk more a bit about why you deserve that position. But for now, what's your word out there? Just a minute to those who are contesting the elections.
Papa Bisu, it's been a while, and I respect the opinion, and I'm very sure that he's genuinely expressing that opinion because he's concerned. But let me mention that you don't have a construction job for a mason and you go and pick an electrician to come and construct a building. When you learn a job as a mason and you graduate, you work as a mason. You don't go and work as a radio presenter. You understand? I have learned the job as a general secretary. In fact, all those who are contesting, none of them has learned the job as I have done. So there's nobody prepared for the job better than me right now, as it stands now.
That's fine.
Unless the general mosquito himself. Nobody is prepared for the job better than me. So it's not about the years. So Papa Bisu, you may have to come home. You may have to reconsider. You see, there are people who are expressing genuine fears because they think that, Otokunor may not be financially powerful enough to be able to run, and people who outweigh with money. But politics is also not about money. And our delegates are very wise.
No, we'll get there. We'll get to that point where we'll have you back in the studio to talk about these.
So Papa should be rest assured.
That's fine.
That I'm going to win this election. There's no two ways about that. I'm the next general secretary of the NDC.
That's fine.
But be that as it may, let me also use this opportunity to, as it were, wish all contestants and aspirants for their various positions very well. I mean, they should have the best of luck, and I'm sure the best will always win. As I've always said, hard work always wins. Hard work would never fail you. Hard work always produce results. And if you are a very hard-working party faithful, the party people will reward you. The spirit of the NDC rewards hard work. And that is what I've come to learn. And so if you are working very hard, I'm sure you would be fine in the elections. My phones are all still open. Those who are still having challenges with the system, I mean, when they get in touch, we would quickly resolve it for them smoothly. We would start vetting on the 30th. Filing of their nominations is 28th and 29th. So of all the works that they have done, the filling of the form and all that, and the downloads, they can go and submit at the constituency from 28th and 29th. The constituency offices will be open. There's an electoral committee that has been put together in every constituency to manage the elections. They will go there with their forms and they will accept the forms and process it for vetting on the 30th. Doc,
it's always a pleasure talking to you, and it's always wonderful having you as a guest. And I wish you all the best, to be honest with you, and because you and I have come a very long way.
Very long way.
I'll always be there for you. Thank you so very much, Doc.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's Dr. Peter Buama Otokunor. There's a lady called lawyer Natasha Lamte. She's also, she's watching. She says I should say hi, and that she will be in touch as well.
Sure.